Hello guys, this is Arindam here again with another video, and today I'll discuss what could be the total cost of your trip to FIFA World Cup in 2022, and I'll try to include everything: food, travel, and stuff like that, and also the match tickets, approximately 4 matches, and then come back to India. So India to India, what could be the total approximate cost? And for that, I need to show something on my computer. So I'll switch over to that. And just before that, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe for more videos like this. And also, if you like the information, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks. Let's move on to the computer now. Hello guys, so we are in my computer right now. So I had written this article last year, and I'll use this as a template to show you how much it's going to cost. So this is a dream for many of us to go to the FIFA World Cup, right? And the most thing we worry about is the money, and but I can say you that like a regular middle class people like us can actually fulfill this dream. And whatever I'm going to say in this video is from my experience in Russia. So I'll just do a little comparison and try to predict what it's going to cost us in Qatar. So the total trip from Delhi to Delhi, like for per person, costed us this much of rupees. That is 1,05,847 rupees exactly. That included match tickets, accommodation, flight tickets, local travel, local transport, and food and visa. Okay, so I'll break down the cost and also predict what like would cost us in Qatar. So this is so we watched 4 matches. The first was a group match. I'll just skip through this very fast, and it was in Luzniki. It was then we watched a second match in Kaliningrad. It was between England and Belgium, and then we watched the match between Sweden and Switzerland. It was in St. Petersburg, and the last match was in it was a quarterfinal. It was between Brazil and Belgium. It was probably one of the best matches in the tournament, and it was a quarterfinal, and the stadium was great too. And so that is the 4 matches that we watched. So let's see how much it costed us for the match tickets. So we watched 2 group matches. That was $165 each. And we watched in the second category. By the way, we didn't get the third category, which we had tried for. So the tickets were approximately so not approximately, exactly $330, and round of 16 match costed us $185, and one quarterfinal match costed us $255. So the total amount was $845, right? And this is what actually translated in like converted to Indian rupees: 50,000, 52,500 rupees. At that time, $1 was approximately 62.15. So this is what actually the total money that was deducted from our bank accounts. So it probably included all the charges and the conversion rates and everything. So that is that. And let's see how much it could cost in Qatar now. Okay. um, so over here, I said that it could cost approximately 10% increase in prices, but in one of my previous videos, I said that it could be approximately 15 to 16% of increase. But for this calculation, let's consider 10%. I have actually added a 15% of contingency at the end, so it will cover it, I think, in my opinion. So if we watch exactly all the same matches, and it would then bring our match ticket prices to 74,400. I have considered the cost of $1 to rupees is rupees 80 in 2020 or 21, sorry, 21 or 22. So that is what I think that could be, because I checked few websites, and that's what they are showing in the prediction actually. So this is actually one of the major factor that's going to affect the match price, apart from the regular increase in the price that happens every 4 year. Okay, so let's talk about what were the cost of flight tickets. We spent approximately 26,000 rupees for our flight from Delhi to Moscow. So I have a video on how we got the flight tickets and what the exact costs were, so I'll link to that. But now let's look at what could be the price of flight tickets from India to Qatar. So from our research, we found out that the best possible route is to fly from Doha to Mumbai. So that's going to be the cheapest. So I have seen Indigo Airlines flight offers for as cheap as 16,000. Okay, so it's a direct flight of 3 hours of 45 minutes. So you can avail that, and there are many cities that offer direct flight to Doha. So I can check that and find what are the cheapest costs. So I think it's safe to consider like 20,000 for a direct flight, and you'll have to add your transport cost from your city to to the city you are flying for. Like for me, in the case of Russia, it was I had to add another 500 5,300 rupees for flight tickets from Kolkata to Delhi. Okay, so I have not included that money in this budget, just to keep it uniform for everyone in the country. Okay, and for visa we did not pay anything because we had this fan ID thing. I have a detailed video on fan ID, you can check that. So it's a free entry to Russia. So I think Qatar would also do something like that. Even if they don't do it, I think the cost of visa would be free, right? This was the case in Brazil. They had to go through the fans had to go through the process of visa application, but the fees were actually waived off. The amount we spent for accommodation in Russia for 15 nights approximately was this 6,582. We had a budget of approximately 500 rubles per night, but I think we were more or less successful in achieving that. And we spend, see, this is one of our accommodation in Qatar, in Russia. So we stayed at like decent places, and some hostels and Airbnb apartments and stuff like that. So I think it's possible to do that in Russia, but I do not know at the moment how expensive Qatar could be, but it's probably more expensive than Russia. If you look at the interview that I had with my Indonesian friend who is traveling to Qatar for the FIFA Club World Cup this year, so he had done some research and said that hotel rooms were approximately $20 per night. So I have calculated 1,200 rupees. So that is approximately, just little less than $20. So if you have traveling with your friend and everything, so your cost will definitely go down. It's not going to cost you $20. I think it can be done, and if you go for couch surfing and everything, you can maybe get it for cheaper. But I think 1,200 rupees per night is doable in Qatar for one person. Even though the country is quite expensive, but still I think there you'll find cheap places. Uh, and this all the information that I found in, like, booking.com and stuffs like that. So with that I came up with this number. It's not that I just came up with something. You can do your own research, but I think this is the number that is reasonable. So I do not want to stay there more than 7 to 8 days. So let's say 8 days in Qatar, because small country and not a lot of tourist things to do. So if I multiply that by 8, so it comes to 9,600. So that is done for accommodation. And let's talk about local travel. So local travel were not very expensive in Qatar, in Russia. So you can read this article on finding out what exactly the costs were. Like for example, a day pass in Moscow was approximately 250 rubles. You can board the metro, I can board any number of buses and ferries and everything for this pass for daily. So it's pretty cheap, I would say. Like AC bus, if bus ticket from my home to my office is approximately 65 rupees. So you can see um, how much, like, it's quite comparable, right? So we do not have any day pass kind of concept in my city, and probably I do not know any other city as well in India. But I think it was daily transport was quite cheap, and the transports were actually extremely good. And on the match days the transports were actually free. See, this is a local train in Moscow. You can see this very nice train. It's not like local trains in India. So in this we got this kind of local trains for free during the match day. Qatar is a very small city. You will not probably need a lot of local transport. You can just walk around. Sorry, the Doha actually. You can just walk around. If you, I don't know, if you take taxi or anything, that is your choice. But bus fares could range from 3 Qatari reals to 10 Qatari reals. So that is approximately 60 rupees to 200 rupees. So I have actually, uh, you know, uh, budgeted 250 rubles per day. So that brings your local transport to 20,000 sorry 2,000 rupees. So regarding the intercity travel, we had spent approximately 12,765 rupees. This is because we couldn't avail the free train from Moscow to Kaliningrad because it required a transit visa as the trains were going through Lithuania and Belarus. So we just took a flight to make the things logistics easier and not apply for visa, and because that would cost us another money and time and everything. So we just booked a flight, and for the rest of the intercity travels we booked the special free FIFA trains between cities, and it was great. It was first class trains, and the best that was available in Russia, and we got that for free just because we had World Cup ticket matches. So this is one of the trains, and this one was actually a double decker train, so it's two-storied train. It's first time in my life, and that too I got to see for free. In Qatar, there are all the most of the stadiums are in Doha. Like four stadiums are in Doha, and there are four other stadiums in, I think, three different locations, and all of them are like 1 hour or 1.5 hour ride from Doha itself. So you could just avail, you know, uh, buses or anything, and the information I found in Lonely Planet was that it could cost around anything between approximately 10 Qatari reals, that is 200 rupees. So if you watch like two matches or three matches, it probably would cost you approximately 600 rupees. So that's what I have calculated. But you can actually get this for free if you have a you know match tickets like we had in we got the FIFA like FIFA free trains. Actually, you could get something like that probably. But let's consider 600 rupees for now at the moment. So we in Russia we cook most of our foods. See, this is one of our typical meals. So we have pasta with you know with beer and chicken over here and everything. So it was you can like cook easy meals if you stay in like hostels with kitchen and everything. So I think it's best to do that. So I'll make a different video probably on accommodation and everything. And I'm not going to go like into details of how much exactly it costed us daily, because I did not count that. We spend that from our cash that we withdrawed. But I'll talk about how much cash we withdrawed in the end. Okay, so that will cover all this food and local transport and everything totally. So in Qatar, I think it's a little expensive than Russia. So I did some research on this website, Numbeo. I think that's how to pronounce it, numbeo.com. You can go there and check it out for yourself. So we have budgeted approximately 800 rupees. Okay, for per day of food. So into 800 into 8, it's approximately 6,400. So you could probably have one or two meals outside and then cook the rest, and I think it should be enough. Honestly, if you buy like raw materials and cook, it's not really expensive in any country, in my opinion. Okay, even in Europe and other places also. uh, like in UK, I have seen that you can like uh, live really cheaply in a really tight budget if you like cook yourself and not eat out, and you know you could do that. It's doable. But beer in Russia is very expensive. 330 ml of beer costs approximately 800 rupees, or 40 Qatari rubles. So in the stadiums, I think it would be more expensive. So I think I'll not just I think I'll skip alcohol for this trip probably. That's the best thing to do. So you can do that, or you can carry your like a bottle of old monk in your luggage or something. I don't know. That's probably not a good idea. Just don't. This is a joke. Yeah, don't take it seriously. So we withdrew approximately 10,000, not approximately 10,000 rubles twice. So that is 11,000 rupees cash per head. So this included our local transport, some of our food, most of our food, some of our accommodation and everything. Okay, so if you read this article, I've detailedly mentioned how much we had. So we spent like 300 rupees for accommodation each. That was because some of it was paid online and some of it we had to pay in cash, and so that was the money that we were left with for the 15 days of travel. So that included food and local transport and everything, and other miscellaneous costs like souvenirs and everything. So since food, travel and everything is included above in this, at the end I'm just saying that what could be your like miscellaneous cost in Qatar for just petty cash or anything. So you could approximately withdraw 5,000 rupees or 250 Qatari riyals. So I think that should be enough for you to buy, souvenirs and other things. So this wrapping it up, let's look at the total cost at glance in a glance. So four ticket matches costed us this one 52,000 rupees, and I predict that it could cost approximately 74,400 rupees. Flight tickets 20,000 in Russia, over here is 20,000. Accommodation would be 6,582 in Russia it was, and over here it could be approximately 9,600. And intercity travel costed us 12,765. Over here it could be 600. And over this one I have calculated altogether food, transport and miscellaneous costs. This is what costed us in Russia, and this is I've broken this down for Qatar. So it could cost for food could cost us 600 6,400, 2,000 for local transport, and miscellaneous 5,000 rupees. Okay, so we do not have any travel insurance in Russia, but I highly recommend that you have, because if something goes wrong, this would definitely come handy. If you lose your luggage, or if you fall sick or something like that, if you have an forbid, if you don't if you have an accident or something, so this is going to be really helpful, right? So you can, so that would cost approximately 5,000 rupees, and this is highly recommended. I would definitely do this this time before going to Qatar. And the total cost in Russia was this much: 1,5,847 rupees, and the predicted cost of Qatar would be 1,20,000 rupees. Okay, so I have added a 15% of contingency budget if something goes wrong and everything, so it will considerably increase your budget. So I think 15% should cover it, so that brings the budget to 1,41,400 rupees. And in the end I have also adjusted the inflation rate, so approximately it's 2% I have calculated for 3.5 years, because I wrote this article last year. So that brings the total cost to 1,51,601 rupees and 52 paise. I mean, just to round it up, I think it's 50,000 rupees, and probably you could do this even in a lesser amount, because initially when I budgeted, our budget was 1,30,000, right? And we had goofed up the flight tickets thing over here, and still we managed to finish it in this much. So it's, I think, doable if you plan wisely, and you know could, if you save money in accommodation and stuff like that by couch surfing and everything, I think you can do that. So if you have watched this video till now, I think you are definitely, like, genuinely interested in going to Qatar. So we have a WhatsApp group. At the moment there are 55 members. Okay, so everyone helps each other with information, so that everyone is updated on what's happening regarding this tournament. So you could drop me a message at this number. This is a India number, so this is the ISD code, and this is the number. I will add you to the group, and you can stay updated with more, like, news and stuff like that. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe the channel. So goodbye for now, see you in the next one.